Well, hey everyone, welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. Currently holding a baby, so we're going to try to get through this today. You may see, I guess we'll turn on the thing. Anyway, today we're going to do an Arcane Rising market update. Before we get started, I wanted to highlight a few things. Number one is that there was actually a sale of a cold foil Eye of Fandel, a 9/5 cold foil Eye of Fandel, Heart of Fandel, the baby brain. So I wanted to just talk about this. We're not talking about WTR this week. We're talking about Arcane Rising. But I did want to mention that there is a Heart of Fandel 9/5 that's sold for $16,000 from a very reputable seller over on the eBay. You can see lots of feedback. Really good, grade, regular 9/5, almost a one away from a quad on the corners. Of course, it probably won't get that because it's, whatever. Anyway, so just wanted to highlight that. That will be reflected in the next market update. We'll talk about it for our WTR, but anybody who was looking for one, that is your price point there. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the regular things that we talk about. If you want access to all this information as a collection tracker, head on over to patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG. That is the best way to support the channel and get access to the perks like that, like the Discord server where we have a bunch of events and other things. Additionally, if you want to support the channel, you can utilize my TCG Player affiliate link, which is in the link of my videos, or there's a description of my videos. All right, let's hop in now. Let's talk about Arcane Rising. We'll talk about sealed box prices. Lots of sales going on, a lot of movement. I want to mention that there was a higher sale here than 2100. I have it at 2100 because that is TCG low currently. But on 12/27 there was a sale for 2250. On eBay there was a sale earlier than that for 1800 that same day. But because of the price of the 2250, I decided to go with this 2100. Lots of things to reflect on, but I think this is a pretty healthy price point. If you're on Facebook, you may be able to get it a little bit cheaper. That seems to be where we are here. Let's move on. The unlimited boxes are down to about $92. There was a restock on unlimited. You will see it affecting the legendary price points here later on in this video, but it's not affecting too much else other than that. Eye of Ophidia, of course, 3 weeks ago, we saw a $4,500 Eye of Ophidia sell on eBay as well. Unlimited, though, is up 15% to $380. Let's take a look at first edition and see what the EV looks like. Not really many legendary sales going on this week. Not really much moving on the market. We had a couple of stuff happen at the end of the year last year, but not really any reaction to that. Nothing that's picking up in that realm. Looking at the the cold foil commons though, Talismanic Lens chunking up to $246, and then a Crown of Dichotomy. There was actually a Crown of Dichotomy that sold for $200 in actually my Discord server, but the most recent one was about $300. So we kind of just met in the middle because it's like kind of like a private sale. It's like not a full community. It's a great community. It's not a massive public community, so I didn't want to really take that as the highest value sale. So anyway, you're seeing an average price go up a little bit. These have really flatlined. I mean, if you take a look at the long-term price points on this, these are really just kind of flatlined. They're not moving up. They're not moving down. This just kind of is the price for cold foil commons right now. Looking at your first edition Majestics, we had a high octane that sold for $180 on TCG Player. That's a sale that's pretty accurate. I think that's a pretty healthy price point right now based on the rest of the market. But you can see $180 on a TCG Player. The other stuff, there's some stuff going on. There's a little bit of movement on Command and Conquer is up to 170, finally moving. I don't understand why it took so long for Command and Conquer to move with the rest of the market, but Art of War also up significantly, up 25% to $50. All right, let's take a look at super rares. There were a good chunk of foils sold for the super rares. Rusted Relic at 42, Ninth Blade of the Blood Oath at 71, and Knock the Death Whistle at 40. Then there was also a Tome of the Arknight, which is kind of bringing the average down about 1%, but still good movement on those. And then the regular ones are just down a little bit. Looking at your rainbow foil rares, we're down 7% to $14. Regular rares were down 3% to $1. Now, as we get to the rainbow foil commons, you're going to see high percentage gains. I actually had these prices were not updating correctly with the polling that I do for TCG Low. For some reason, their system's broken. So I wanted to manually change these here. So this is the current price that they should be, about $30 for Fate We're Seeing Red and $24 for the blue. All that being said, there was still some downwards pressure on some of the other cards. So average price at $6.76. Regular commons are there. All right, let's take a look then at the EV. You can see the overall EVVV is a little soft here. A little bit, just a real little limited amount downturn, but really no huge change from the last couple weeks or the last couple months. So, all right, let's hop in. And if you want to open a box, they're sitting about $1,000 to your EV. If you open just one box, it'll be less than that, but it just kind of is what it is. All right, looking at Unlimited then, as we hop in to see what's going on. Like I said, legendaries are very much being affected by the supply that's coming in from distribution. Now, I will say, as a store owner, I was only able to get a limited number of boxes, not nearly enough to sell online or do anything like that. But I have seen the big stores in our community who have those good relationships with the distribution kind of selling a lot of boxes on the market. And that's what allows these prices to come down, especially if they aren't able to move as many boxes as they need to. A lot of them are opening singles, and the legendaries are the easiest things to sell. They are the highest value, so they will see the most dip, in my opinion, whenever we get a restock like this that is happening. So you can see Skullcap also is getting a reprint. That's probably a lot happening that it will see a reprint in Everfest. Your average price there is $116. And then as we get into the Majestics, you'll see we've taken just TCG low currently, as the market kind of dried up on a lot of these over the last couple weeks, and now we have kind of a new assortment of them. So just kind of a reset of the price point. It's only up 1% for the rainbow foils on that line. You can see something like Sonic Boom is up pretty considerably as the rainbow foils kind of dried out. But this is kind of where we're at. $32 for the rainbow foil on average. A lot of that is Command and Conquer at $150, and then the regular one at $18, and a lot of that is Command and Conquer at $89. Looking at the super rares, we did the same thing. Your kind of average rainbow foil is sitting at $2.84. Your regular rare is sitting at 94 cents. That's up 28% and 2.8%. Unlimited rainbow foil rares at 58 cents, which is up. Regular rares is at 11 cents, which is down. Your rainbow foil commons, a lot of these equipment we had some issues with that I've gone ahead and fixed as I looked into it. And so that's why you're seeing significant increase. It doesn't really change the EV that much, but it does if you really do include the rainbow foil commons. But anyway, that being said, here's what we're sitting at for your EV for this week. We are up about 9% if you open up just one box at $62. Keep in mind those kind of changes that have been happening. And then if you don't include the Fable, but you include the Legendary, you're at $91 per box, which is still super good. A ton of value in this Legendary rainbow foil. And then if you do open up 40 boxes, you're sitting at about $100. So that is the EV for Arcane Rising. Again, if you want access to all the stuff as a collection tracker, head on over to patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG. And don't forget to use the TCG Player affiliate link in the description of the video. So hope you guys have a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you, and we will see you again next video.